Click on List under Administration, pull down the Edit list, go down to State, and add the state that the clinic is in to the list. You could remove the other states if you want to, or leave them there. And I like to change the order so that it shows up at the top of the list for the primary state for that clinic. If there are neighboring states that you can see patients from, you can add them here or you want. Might be a good idea to add them to the master before distribution in the future. And you can set a default for the default state. So in this case, it's in Alabama, so we'll set the default to say Alabama. And then click on Save. There are other lists here that you should be aware of that you can add additional pull downs to at any time if you are the admin. So you can go through those as you need them and add additional information. Exam tests is a pretty good example. Here's a default list of exams that go in the issues list that are part of the pull down. If you had additional exams you were doing, you could add them here. Okay, the next thing that needs to be set up is the practice side. If you're doing pharmacies in the local area, you can add those pharmacies here so that they can be selected for the RX, and there's no pharmacies currently added, but it's pretty straightforward. You can add them at this point. If you're doing any form of insurance billing that you need to be able to add to the patient's record, you can put those insurance companies here. Electronic claims, cross-references here, and then documents. This is where documents are uploaded for the purposes of scanned records. You can add additional categories in this area. I have added microbiology to the lab report, and they'll show up as part of the documents upload and category sorting. The ACL list, just so you know, is where you control group access controls, and there's a lot of detail here. I won't go into it, but suffice to say that if you need to refine the permissions levels of the users to be more or less in a given category or create new categories, they can be done under the ACL. That stands for Access Control List. And then a final piece of this is that there's a backup script under admin. You click on that button, it produces a backup copy of the MySQL dump of the database and a directory dump of the OpenEMR server, basically all the software and all of the uploaded documents. And then you can then save it on your local drive. This is one way to do the backup method that is listed in the control list. The other thing that the admin may need to do or may want to do is in services. If you go into services, if you want to add prices, delete or add CPT codes, the service list is a complete list of the CPT database. You can add additional code types, ICD-9, CPT, and HCPCS at this point, and you can edit ones that are there. If you do a search for a particular code, you can then edit it and assign it a category for reporting. There's a place to set up categories, and you can put in fees. There's also a way to turn on multiple fees in the list control. So you can have more than one fee type and select those at charge posting time if you're doing payment and charge posting. The only other thing that you might want to do as an admin before deployment is the address book here. This address book is intended to be an internal address book, but it also can contain addresses of anybody that you need to refer to, or pharmacies, or internal contacts, and it's available for viewing from anywhere. You literally can add here. It will active authorized providers with an NPI number will show up in here automatically if they're authorized. Otherwise, you can do an add and add a full address book information for external referral locations. These are available from various places in the system when you want to send a form letter, a prescription, or a referral to an outside source. They can also just be used for reference. The other thing that is of use is this office notes section. The admin doesn't need to set this up, but it is a place that that you can add inter-office messages to each other that can be seen by anyone. So. All right, that concludes the basic admin setup. The only final thing is that you change the password, the admin password right here, and I recommend that you do for each clinic so that they have a separate admin password.